and all your souls will be mine. Soon you will see things more horrible than you could even imagine. Well, maybe not that horrible, but still pretty bad.
This is just wrong. Look, I refrain from hard political takes on this channel. I think everyone basically knows where I stand, where I'm going to vote this November, but I'm not like a hardline party loyalist. I'm what used to be called a liberal. You know, I grew up, I still think, hey, we should protect the environment. Censorship is bad. Big pharma is bad. These were liberal ideas back when I was a kid. Free speech. Now that's different. And one of the conversations that have been really thrust into the forefront of the conversation is, of course, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, a big talking point around this election cycle is, what women choose to do with babies. And I guess I'm just a babe in the woods, kind of young. I'm new to this. I had no idea that it was going on at the scale that it is. I grew up thinking it was like something that, some high school kid, made a mistake, or obviously if there was a crime that happened or something. I really had no idea. I always called myself pro-choice, and it just keeps getting harder and harder as the left is celebrating. And in just 2 days so far, at least according to reports since Monday, 25 babies' lives have been extinguished in a mobile Planned Parenthood RV at the DNC. And it's just, I've got to say something about it. It's just, it makes me feel so sad that people would think this is healthcare or that this is good. I still think that it is not my position. People make these decisions and they're going to have to live with that at the end of when they meet their maker. They're going to have to answer for the decisions they made. I'm not in that position to judge other people, but this is just awful, and I want to talk about it. And before we get into the story, I do want to mention huge shout out. I just got this in the office. It's Lumen. It's the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath and on the app, and it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and it gives you a tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. All you do is breathe into Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism. There's the device there, and you'll know whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. It gives you personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel to keep you going. It can help give you recommendations to improve your metabolic health. It can help you track your cycles as the onset of menopause. And I mean, just so much awesome stuff with Lumen. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/thequartering to get 15% off your Lumen, or just click the link in the description. That's lumen.me/thequartering for 15% off. Thanks to Lumen for sponsoring this episode. Now, we have some on-the-ground footage, which I believe was taken by Savannah Hernandez of this event, and I just want to share it here. It's like they're sacrificing human lives at the DNC. It actually, when I see this RV, maybe it's doing my daily live stream at 1 o'clock with Melanie Mack that's making me more religious. I actually feel gross inside. I feel like my stomach is turning. Like I actually feel physically ill when I think about what's going on in that bus. And the fact that people would celebrate this as healthcare is bananas to me. I still remain steadfast in like, hey, look, someone who's very young, they make a mistake. I can at least understand it. Again, I'm not here to judge people. If somebody, if a crime is committed and somebody ends up pregnant because of that, I would understand that. Okay. I'm like, I think 80% of Americans in that way, if something bad happens to you and you end up pregnant from that, like, I understand. Or if you're very young or something like that, right? But somewhere along the line, went from safe, effective, and rare to a mobile termination unit. 25 babies' lives extinguished in 2 days. It's just, how can Democrats think, even optically, that this is a good thing? By the way, undercover executives allegedly caught discussing the sale of fetus body parts in shocking undercover video from, again, Planned Parenthood. That was just 2 weeks ago. Hey, I think women, should be able to have access to birth control. I don't have any problem with the government helping women, or corporations helping their female employees with, having tampons in the bathroom or any. I'm not offended by any of that stuff. It is curious when I go to restaurants in downtown, walk in there in the men's room, though. It's always curious to me. But anyway, I'm not offended by any of that stuff. I don't care. All right. You want to LARP and you want to take a tampon out of the men's room and go on with your LARP. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't bother me. As long as you're not screaming in my face about affirming whatever LARP it is that you're on. But I just felt like this calling, I guess, this like innate, I had to cover this because it's just so, it's so gross. Like, it's just, I don't understand. I don't know if I'm going to alienate a bunch of my viewers with this. I try to be very understanding of people's situations. But, for 25 innocent babies in 2 days, that sure seems a lot of crimes are happening. Like, I'm supposed to believe it only happens in, they say, oh, except in cases of this and that. By the way, I don't think, I know people who are more hardline than me and I respect their opinions, but look, if a crime happens to you and you end up pregnant from it, I am not offended by you making that decision. I'm just not. This is not that, though, right? This is not that. The Planned Parenthood baby deletion business has reportedly ended 25 innocent babies since the Democratic National Convention began, all under the guise of, quote, reproductive health care. The organization, notorious for its aggressive abortion agenda, took its so-called, quote, services to a whole new level by offering free medicated deletions, vasectomies. Hey, I'm all for liberals getting vasectomies. I would 100% support them having little booths that they go in, and they probably have to have very small surgical tools. But like, I'm all for that. That's fine. Okay, that actually seems like birth control to me. If Planned Parenthood was there offering people birth control and rubbers and stuff like that, information on how to not get the clap, I don't have any problem with that. I think most people don't have any problem with these services. I know some people do. I know some people, my viewers do, but I think that most people are fine with all of those things. It's the other demonic part of it that people have a problem with. When you're using these services, basically human sacrifices, as birth control or as a cop-out for taking responsibility, I don't like that. I don't think that. Now, do I think the government should be regulating? I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that society should be shaming these people, and that ultimately, when they meet their maker at the end, they'll have to answer for these decisions. According to CBS News, Planned Parenthood said it served between 20 and 30 patients in just 2 days at the mobile clinic. We were really excited to provide the opportunity for thousands of folks who are coming to Illinois to demonstrate for them that it was possible to start closing some healthcare gaps. If you look up the numbers, by the way, if you want to talk about, people who support the Black community and minorities, you should look at, the statistics of these procedures by race. And then ask yourself what Planned Parenthood is really interested in. It seems like they have their facilities and their signs in predominantly Black neighborhoods. Why do you think that is? Do you think Planned Parenthood actually cares about Black people? I don't. I don't think they do. Not if they're, so excited to remove them from this planet. A lot of people overcome a lot of tough situations to live a full and successful life. There's a lot of reasons why I feel the way I do about, even though, like, if forced to choose whether or not I would allow the government to have a say, I don't want the government to have a say. But, you know, my wife was conceived when I think her parents were 15. Very easily could have been just another number for Planned Parenthood. But no, their parents made the sacrifice. You know, her dad, you know, dropped out of school, finished school at night, got a job. Her mom got a job. They made it work. You know, they never got married, but they made it work for their kid. And because of that, I have my wife today. You know, there's lots of situations where kids are not born into the ideal scenario, quote unquote, and they overcome. You know, and this is shocking numbers. 25? It's just, I don't understand why they think this is good optics. Again, I think most people would understand, look, if you ended up pregnant from a crime or something like that, they would at least understand why you feel that way, why you want that. But 25 in just 2 days, I'm just not going to celebrate that, and I'm not going to call that healthcare. I'm going to call that demonic. You know, I'm going to call that human sacrifice. I'm going to call that vile, gross, terrible. This is not 25 emergencies where the mom's life was at risk and you had to make the ultimate decision. You know, the most difficult choice anyone could have, you know, probably imagined. You know, this isn't that. This is people who got knocked up because they didn't take 2 seconds to put a rubber on, and they popped in and popped out of an RV to terminate life. I just don't think that that's healthcare. And, you know, if you don't agree with me, I understand, and I still want you to, you know, enjoy my videos and disagree with me. That's fine. But, you know, it's gross. It's gotten too gross. It's gotten too destigmatized. Stigmatisms in society need to exist for this reason. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below.